So just laid out the pieces here, emptied out the little goodie bag of all the fasteners and stuff, and just laid it all so it's all clear. It looks like everything is here. I think there's a slight duplication on these manifold plugs or vacuum plugs, but that's okay. It's nice that they threw in some extra ones. It's always good in case you tear one. There's a backup just in case. But I just wanted to make mention that on this hardware here, you'll notice that, get that piece of junk out of there, that they're identical. You can't get them reversed. They both go on the engine the same way. So you can't, the left isn't right, there's no right, there's no left. They're both ambidextrous or universal. They go in both places. So I think we're just going to do a quick mock-up. This O-ring will go between the actual engine itself and this manifold, creating a seal. We'll take probably one of these fasteners and stick it on the bike and hold it in place. And then once that's in situ, one of these rubber gaskets goes on top like that. I shouldn't have said the word gasket, I should have said spigot. And then from here the carburetor plugs into that, and then, you know, of course all this is assembled on the bike. But I just wanted to show you briefly the order of how it's supposed to go. So if the bench was the engine block, this rubber seal goes in between. Then this rubber piece goes on top, and then the carb will plug into that. And that's the breakdown. So we're going to go ahead and get that started now. So we're going to go ahead and install the new piece, and there's a rubber O-ring that you can see. Well, actually, it's good. It doesn't want to come out. That's good. I'm not going to play with it. But there's a little track there where the O-ring is supposed to go in, and in some cases, this guy will always want to walk out. Yeah, see, it's coming out now as I speak. You can use just a little bit of grease, believe it or not, as a light adhesive to hold the O-ring in place so it doesn't get away when you want to install it. But I'm actually getting really lucky here. I don't know why. But I just press it into place. It seems to want to stay there. I'll attribute that to the quality craftsmanship from British Customs. And we'll just hold this in place with one hand. We've got the fasteners in the other hand. And we'll just go ahead and put that in place. Use our tool. Get that started. It's pretty dark in here, sorry. And that's the first one, should hold it in place, and then the other one just goes kitty corner or opposite up here. We are now at the stage where we have put the new intake spigots onto the manifold, and we're just about ready to mock up the carbs. Mocking up, just putting things into position to see how it's going to work, I think is a really, really important process of re and re, which is short for remove and replace with something newer and better. And how we have removed the stock carbs, we're now going to the aftermarket carbs, and I just wanted to show you guys why doing a mock-up is so important. Hey Rafi, good morning. The new intake Venturi is just a short guy like this, and this piece is going to screw into our carburetors. I'm just going to hold that up for you as well. It's going to screw into the carburetors like this, right? It's going to look like that one when it's done. So we're going to put this into place, and before this even goes in here, this is a really fiddly little thing. But there's an O-ring, which looks like this, and this O-ring has to slip right on top there, and actually has to fit inside that teeny little groove, and then with very, very delicate hands, it needs to be inserted into the carburetor to form a perfect seal. But just for the sake of mocking, we're going to hold off on this procedure, and we're going to put this guy in just loose. And then we're going to just walk over to the bike here, and we're going to just place the carbs on the bike just to see what it's going to look like when we put them in. So there they are, spanking new and nice. And we're just going to slip this into position, and we're going to put them into spigots. So right away, we have noticed something that's pretty obvious here about the arrangement. So the first thing is that the carb has not been pushed in all the way. You can see there's an obvious gap here, stuff to fit it in. But there's a traffic jam happening between the stock petcock and the new carburetors. And this is mainly because we replaced the old carburetors with these new carburetors, and the intake manifold is shorter in distance than the originals. The original was longer and there was more room to accommodate it. So with this traffic jam in situ, we have a problem here. We have to either A, raise up the gas tank to make room for the carburetors to come in, or B, move the carburetors back so that we can leave the gas tank where it is and still make a proper fit. Fortunately for us, we have to go back over to the counter. Pop this out just real quick. Although this venturi is a shorter one, we are fortunate enough to have a slightly longer one in package right here, and I'll just cut that out of the bag. But the longer one will hopefully give us, you can see there's obvious difference there between the two, but the longer one is going to give us the needed distance we need so that when the carburetor is on the bike, it will be able to accommodate that little traffic jam right where the petcock is, which is going to sit somewhere in this vicinity. We're also, in addition to this, installing a new petcock that offers more fuel flow. Pingo is actually a really reputable company. They have a great website that illustrates a number of different petcocks. Some are dual, some are triple, but it's all billet and really, really nicely machined equipment. And this is designed to allow more fuel from the gas tank to the new carburetor so that we get the performance that we're looking for. But in doing this quick mock-up, we've realized that there's a slight traffic jam in that instead of going with the shorter ones, which is more desirable, we're going to have to go with the longer ones and see how it works out before we actually get it all fit and finished. So in the future, before you just go ahead and bolt things together, do a quick mock-up. It takes a little time because you do it twice, sometimes 3 times, but by the time it's done, it's done right. And that's it. Just to confirm what we were doing with the mock-up, we've removed the seat again and the gas tank, just so we can actually visually see very clearly what's going on here. And we made another observation here with the shorter intake venturies, which we're going with the mock-up. We're just going to go again with another try, and you'll see that now with the petcock absent, because we're going to go with a different one, our next traffic jam item actually is a structural brace from the frame. This piece here actually knocks against that piece there. So with the shorter ones, even with the petcock out of the way, you can hear that it's hitting the frame and it's not pushed in all the way. So unfortunately, the shorter ones are not going to work on this setup at all. Either A, this brace has to go, or B, it needs to be modified into sort of the shape of a banana or a telephone receiver, so that it will make room for the linkage on the carburetor. But this is an observation that we caught before proceeding with the mock-up, or with the completion of this job, by doing a mock-up. Again, why it's so important to sometimes just feel it out, check it out, size it up 3 times before doing it 1 time.